Hey guys, what is up? It's been a while since I've shown my kit and I've updated a lot in terms of mics and instruments, but it's relatively the same, so I'm gonna show what I record with in a moment. So yeah, this is the kit that I'm currently rocking with. It's basically a Yamaha gigmaker, but it's not really a Yamaha gigmaker. And this is because only the bass drum and the floor tom are the actual original shells. The tom and the snare are both completely different. So the snare I'm using is a Dixon Snare. It's quite a thin snare. It's maple, so it gets a good snap. It doesn't have that deep sound. If you're looking for a deep sound, I wouldn't recommend it, but it does have a very nice flat sound. And then the tom I have, this is a lovely tom. This is a live custom oak by Yamaha, I believe. And as you can see, I don't know if the camera can pick up on this. It can't, but on the inside of here, the shells are oak, so it's lovely. It's black oak. Really nice finish. By the way, on all the heads at the moment, I use Remo for the snare, and that's a skin tone. I sometimes use the ambassador one as well. And then I like these Evans on toms, these kind of dots, I don't know what they're called. And then I use the G2 on floor tom. And my favourite head of all time is the Evans EMAD. It sounds unbelievable on kick drum. So yeah, that's the kit at the moment. I'll next show the hardware, and then I'll also show microphones later, which I'm sure a lot of you are excited about, because I change microphone setup probably all the time at this stage. So hardware wise, I'm using more or less the same stuff as Yamaha. I'm using a nice Mapex kick pedal. It's a double pedal, but I only use the single at the moment. I'll try and get the name for that, but it is a very good pedal. I use this clamp here to clamp my splash cymbal, and this is just a Wuhan splash. It's pretty standard stuff, but it actually sounds quite nice. And yeah, I just used a normal tom mount to mount the tom. Now obviously it doesn't go right the way through, so that's good. So sometimes when there's a hole in the middle of the shell there, and especially on cheaper toms, and it goes through, the sound quality downgrades. So it doesn't downgrade the quality of the sound with that. So the next thing is the cymbals, and God, I've had these cymbals for God knows how long, 3-4 years at this stage. Remember I had a very controversial video on the cymbal test, but yeah, I'm still rocking the Sabian AAXs. I use the Wuhan Splash, and the main difference is I have an Istanbul X-ray. That's an 18-inch, I think. Yeah, it's an 18-inch. That's a lovely crash. This is the Istanbul memhet X-ray crash. So as you can see, it's the kind of like ozone, the effects, there's holes in it. This has a lovely sound. I like a contrast because this cymbal here is AAX, and this is a 16-inch. This has very bright tone, and this is like almost a completely different sound, so it's good to kind of have a contrast in cymbals. And then the right is the AAX, and this is a 20-inch. I like this ride. I would like something that crashes a bit more. It's not the best to crash on. And then hats, I use the 14-inch AAX. Yeah, and these are the Explosion, I believe, ones. Yeah. But I have an Audio Technica AG2035 on my left side. This is quite a sensitive mic, so if you do use it for overheads, I'd recommend to use, there's a built-in pad function on the mic. This just decreases the volume. And then to my right, I have an AKG C 1000. This is a really nice mic, picks up the bell really nice with the ride and picks up the crashes really good. And I also use for hi-hat this Pro Sound mic. It's a very cheap mic, but it actually does the job quite well. It has a kind of gritty sound to it. Yeah, mic stands I would recommend. For toms, I don't think they're really that necessary. I mean, you only hit a tom. I don't know, like I do a lot of recording demos and drums for clients, and I'd say about in every song there might be about, I don't know, 10 fills at most, at the very most. So I'm only hitting the toms 10 times, so it's not the most necessary thing in the song. You want to focus on your snare, your bass drum and your cymbals, and you want to get a good balanced sound, so I'd start with there. In terms of software, I use two main software, Studio One and Pro Tools. So I use Studio One mainly just for recording, because it's easier just to plug in all my mics in via the USB interface straight into it, and then I do all my mixing in Pro Tools because I find it easier to work with. But this is very much a personal preference. I mean, a lot of people use Logic or, you know, whatever. There's loads of recording softwares out there, and they're all pretty good at this stage. So yeah. So yeah, this has eight mic inputs, so I can record up to 8 mics. So at the moment I record 7, but I can definitely see myself getting to 8 very soon. Like a room mic would be nice. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this whole recording setup. Like, as I said, it looks like a lot of gear, but well, it is a lot of gear, to be honest with you. But the reality is, you get all this stuff over time. I would recommend, if you get 2 good mics, get good condensers. Condensers are really good mics, are really important to get good sounds, because if you have good overheads, the whole kit's gonna sound good. Like, in fact, I reckon you can probably get a really good sound, a really good drum sound with just overheads and bass drum mic, and I might do a video of that in the future. But yeah, that's really all you need. The toms are just to add character, and the snare is just kind of to control, and the hi-hat is more control, because when you're recording, especially when you're recording, like, drum cover is fine, doesn't really make that much of a difference, because, you know, it's just drums. But when you're recording a song, especially if you're sending it over to someone, you want them to be able to control each individual element. That's why in studio is about 50 mics. So yeah, just make sure that you have the basics down, and yeah.